Guys ready? Looks like I got a lot to cover. Might as well get started. Pledge of allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And item 3, roll call. Want to start us out, Bob?
Bacon present.
Subject Charlie present.
Big present.
Keekwan present.
Milky present.
Coin present.
Bars present.
Seeing a quorum present, we'll move on to item 4, approval of tonight's agenda. How's that looking?
I will make a motion we approve the agenda as presented. Support.
I would second it.
Got a motion by Bacon, support by Milky. All in favor of approving tonight's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. And the agenda is approved. Going on to item 5, approval of minutes. Looks like we have September 16th informational meeting minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the September 16th informational minutes.
Support.
Got a motion by Big, support by Coin to approve the September 16th informational meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. And those meeting minutes are approved. How about the regular meeting minutes? How are those looking?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Got a motion by Bars, support by Fig to approve the regular meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. And the minutes are approved. And item 6, public comment. Couple in the galley. No questions?
Are we under public or are we under, I don't know where we're at.
You're on a business item. They're here for the payment.
Okay. Anybody online?
No, sir.
Seeing no public present, we'll move on to item 7, reports. Accounts payable.
I don't know if you've all met Handle Lynch, our county specialist. I just want to take the moment to introduce her and then just go ahead and take care of the financials.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
So
calling.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with the EDA payables. I'm not gonna read through every check. I'm just gonna kind of highlight some of the, not your normal monthly
There you go.
payments. So the first one, the Andrew Patterson Plumbing, that's an annual fee for backflow testing, for $475. And then I wanna note, the payment for Gunner Lawn Care for branch removal and cleanup. That is tree trimming and cleanup on Jonathan Lane in K Street. And then down toward the bottom here, we have a check for the West DDA for $347.50. Last month, you may have recalled, we voided a check from the East DDA for the audit services. We did pay, well, we cut checks from both the East and West for the full amount of audit services, and each fund should have paid half. So that $347.50, that is a check to reimburse the West for their half of the audit services. And then I'll note, there's no payables for the West, but if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I've never seen us use Bee Green Lawn Services. That's something Goner, they'd like go through, Goner recommended that we
Actually, they are, Be Green is a regular contractor. They take care of weed control and some other.
Is that once a year or
fertilization.
something? I don't remember us paying them before. I remember Goner, but I don't remember Bee Green. Okay.
They don't come up every month. They come up a couple of times a year.
Okay.
Okay, move that we pay the East DDA check register as approved, as presented.
I second it.
Got a motion by Zalid, support by Chowdhury. Questions? Comments? Hearing no questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. And the motion, the billables, payables are approved. Thank you. And you said nothing on the west?
There's nothing on the west this month.
That's good.
So
Well,
then
you
I'll move to, if everybody is ready, I'll move to the revenue and expenditure reports and the fund balance sheet. There's really nothing out of the ordinary to report for either the east or the west DDA. In revenues, obviously, we still have interest earned increasing from our CDs and our bank interest. And then I did want to make note at the last meeting, and I apologize I wasn't able to attend. Rodney had mentioned a possible change as to how we're going to start reporting our tax revenues for the east and the west. We are looking at moving to a model where we're reporting those tax captures on the front end versus at tax settlement time. Historically, we've been paying the east and west or recording the revenues for taxes for the east and west at one point in time, and that's during the actual tax settlement. We are looking at moving to report those as we disperse the funds for our tax disbursements. That way the east and west, they get their portion at the front end versus waiting. Not only will this give the board and the public a better idea of kind of where our funds sit month to month, but it will help simplify that tax settlement process for us as well.
Sounds good.
Just so I'm clear, that's just a matter of timing, as it's not gonna, as far as the budget, but it's a matter of timing as to when the funds actually get credited and deposited in the DDA's fund versus, is that what you're saying?
Yes, you are correct. That way it gives us a little bit more clear picture as to where our funds sit versus having that thought in the back of your mind, okay, we have this revenue coming in, but we don't post it or transfer those funds until a certain point in time. We're going to do that as we disperse the taxes, or that's the plan. You'd see that change happening next year. You wouldn't see anything this year as far as making that change, but we're moving to that model.
Should be
Good. Should be good.
We don't know each other yet, but, so what you're saying is the general fund has been accruing interest from our taxes, is that what you're saying? Possibly? Or would you agree? You can refuse to answer, thank you.
This will be a benefit moving forward, I'd
Yes,
say.
thank you.
Yes.
Very, very well put.
And then I'm not sure if anybody has any other questions, but I'm happy to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
for this presentation.
So let's let the record show the financials were presented and filed. Moving on to item 7C, the board matrix for your review.
Can I point out a couple things?
Yeah.
Just want to note, we still have the vacancy on the EDA. Had a couple nibbles, but no bites yet on this board. We have one member whose term, I won't point at him too directly, whose term is coming up in March. We have 3 members whose terms are coming up in February for the Planning Commission, 2 at the end of the year for the Zoning Board, And then the construction board, because of how the terms work, all 3 seats will term out at the end of this year. So if, I'm hoping that some of those people will reapply, but obviously would be thrilled with applications. So if you know someone that would like to serve, I encourage you to encourage them.
And
you,
the
Tom.
requirements are you either live or own a business. in
The EDA is the one unique one in that light.
Yep.
Otherwise, the requirements are township resident or, yep. But EDA, ideally, our bylaws do allow somebody at large, or maybe it's even 2. By and large, we want to keep those as either business owners or residents within those districts. That's what makes that one a little tougher.
Yep, okay. No, just wanted to be clear.
Thank you, Chair.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you too, Brian.
And moving on to item 8, new business. Looks like we have a couple requests for board action items. I see item A, the beautification grant award for the Baymont. What do we got there?
So thank you. We do have a grant application before you tonight. It's for a site beautification component of our grant program. As you said, it's for Baymont by Wyndham Hotel on East Pickard Road. Tara Leonard, the manager of the hotel, is behind me. She'd be able to answer questions about this. You have the item, request for board action in your packet. There's a report dated the 14th of October. This is for primarily for removal and removal of some fencing and replacement of fencing. And there's some very prominent fencing that is actually, the township owns the lot there at the corner of Enterprise Drive. And between us and our lot, our vacant lot, and the hotel, is this dilapidated wood fencing. It is the strongest fence I've ever seen in terms of materials. I think it's 8x8 posts and 2x8 panels, and it's really remarkable. But it is coming apart. It's dilapidated. That runs around their site. It is actually associated with the hotel, although pretty sure that part of the fence is actually on our lot. But then it wraps around their trash enclosure, forms really screening for their trash area. They have proposed, we worked with them, Tara and I talked earlier this year about how we could clean up that fencing, how best to work with that. And I suggested that we look at this option to help them be able to do this, and in particular to help them be able to take down that long stretch of fencing behind the arborvitae that's running through there. Tara did put this application together. It's proposing to remove all the fencing and then replace just the fencing around their trash enclosure. So that part will be new. The rest of it will not be reinstalled. We found it's a great project. It fits well with the grant criteria, and it will certainly be a nice improvement for that area. As noted in our report, the Baymont is a wonderful part of our community. They've done amazing work over there in terms of both keeping the hotel open, but also continuing to upgrade it. It's really quite a nice facility inside and out. And so this will be one more piece of the work that they've been working on. So if it's all right, I'll turn some time over to Tara Leonard.
Just as Rodney had said, we just would like to get that fence cleaned up, and we want the enclosure to, if we took off the back side of it, then the fencing wouldn't match all the way around, and we really like everything to be matching and in pristine order, and make a good first impression on our guests when they arrive, which is they usually see that part of the parking lot when they come in. So does anybody have any questions on that?
Good.
Sounds like a proverbial no-brainer.
And I'm thrilled you came in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
By the way.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, like he was talking about the 8x8s, them are cemented in. This is not gonna be a easy job, you know, it's falling apart now, so by the time we take them posts out and get that cement out, it's gonna be quite a job doing that.
I can imagine.
I like it. I mean, a lot of things changed since we demoed that building and the sign. And so I think the lines of sight are gonna be open. I think it's gonna help.
It'll look nicer with that fence gone.
Oh, yeah.
And there's other trees that are growing up in the arborvitae's that's
Yeah.
need to come out as well.
Thanks for wanting to get this done.
Yeah.
Help improve that.
Thank you to Rodney as well for helping, so I appreciate that.
Rodney, is the amount 1,614, is that what we're talking about here? Just
That's correct.
That's it?
That's the amount of the grant award that we are part of the project.
Okay. All right.
The beautification, the criteria that was set up for the beautification side of the grant award program basically covers 20% of the project cost. The last one we did was a sign replacement, and that one had a higher percentage. It was 50%. This one, beautification set at 20. So it works out to be that 1,600.
I believe our vacant lot site accrues more value from this than your hotel does, actually. I was all in favor of this. It's, as somebody said, a no-brainer.
Well, if it's no-brainer,
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion to approve an East DDA District Fund Community Improvement Grant Award for the Baymont by Wyndham Hotel at 5858 East Pickard Road, PID 14-013-20-004-00. Owner, McGirt Group Incorporated, the amount of $1,614.33 for removal of weather-worn fencing behind the tree line on the west side of the hotel parking lot, and to remove and replace the trash enclosure area fencing with issuance of the grant award contingent upon confirmation by the zoning administrator that completed work conforms to an approved fence permit.
Support.
Got a motion by Coin, motion by Bars, support by Coin. And seeing no more questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same? I got a question. It's too late. No.
Before you go, if I may, I wanted to wait till after we had taken action on this. But do you have any feedback for the township as far as the application process, the support you got from staff?
I thought it was great. Like I
anything
said,
to
Rodney
improve?
Was amazing. He came to me with the idea and then the beautification grant as well, so that was very helpful. And then asked for me to put this together, and so it was very straightforward and easy to follow. And then I submitted it to Rodney, and he got me right in. So I appreciate his help, and this seemed to be very easy as well. You guys all seem to be nice gentlemen, so I appreciate that too. So really easy for me.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Just
Yeah.
if there's ways to improve, we certainly want to look at those, so,
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you again for coming in.
Have a great night, everybody.
You
Thanks.
too.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
to come up the podium, I don't know who they were. I think they were from, one of them was from the hotel, I'm not too sure.
Baymont?
She's a manager,
That she's the manager, that he is what?
contractor.
The contractor. Okay. I mean, I kind of might have assumed that, but I'd like to have them, maybe they should introduce themselves, their names. and stuff.
We did, the contractor, Joe, you know, I don't know his name.
It was just for
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, I thought about that, but then they kind of introduced them, then Jim came in late, and then it
Yeah.
was all messed up.
Yeah, it's all my fault. So, sorry.
You put two and two together.
All's well that ends well.
It's not my fault, but you're blaming me, I get it.
Thanks, Jim.
That's what he was doing, he introduced at the same time you were getting it.
I tried, you know. Next.
Okay, 8B, we got another request for board action. Looks like we got budget approval and recommendation to the Board of Trustees.
Thank you. You have in your packet the request for board action dated October the 3rd. This is a request to adopt the fiscal year 2026 budget for the East and West EDA funds, and to recommend the budgets to the Board of Trustees for their final approval. No surprises here. I think the only addition is actually seeing the more the detail of the memo you see is pretty much exactly the same memo as we looked at just at the recent meeting, where we went through the budget priorities for next year. And the details from the printed budget file match what we talked about previously. So with that, I'm happy to answer your questions, but as I said, essentially this is the same information, the same numbers as what we looked at previously.
Concerning section E9, could we maybe change the language to not commit to national fitness campaign and just make a more broad statement of fitness equipment, recreational equipment at Jamison Park without committing to this particular company?
Well, it is a project to work with this particular company. The company actually is, this is the same company that we worked with. It's really not a company, it's a movement, actually.
It's a company. It's a company that's almost deceptive in its name.
Yeah. But it's the same type of facility, or same company we worked with for the McDonald Park Fitness Court behind us.
Yeah.
In this case, we're looking at using what they call their studio, which is an expanded version. It has an additional area, but it's the same company. I can report that since this was written, that actually the National Fitness Campaign, their grant committee has awarded the township $60,000 to go towards this project. That's the last time when we did the other court, there was a grant award. This was actually higher than that for this project. But that will be used to offset a portion of the cost. We have also put a request included a request in the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribes 2% grant program to ask them for support as well. So the 240,000 is the maximum, but it is likely that the end result will be less than that certainly because the board we have, but also potentially a second award. In addition to that, there is an amount included in the general fund to help fund this project as well, so that the Board of Trustees would be looking at.
I can't support this particular company's product.
Oh, okay.
So I would like to see, you suggested, I think, pickleball courts. I have no problem with money for Jamison Park. I just think this particular equipment is a very expensive yoga chair. It doesn't really do anything. You push against it in different ways. I mean, you can do this on it or this against it, And I understand it has no moving parts except for some rings, but it just seems like a lot of money for something that's more of a sculpture than an exercise equipment.
Well, our McDonald Court has been heavily used.
There's a lot of people, like I say, because it sits right there by the ball field. I think people go online and see, how does this thing work? Because it looks really interesting, but then I don't think of people are really using it so much as it's there. It's right there where they're playing balls. So they're checking it out because you scratch your head and go, like, what does it do? I'm just not sold on this particular piece of equipment. I like the money in the budget for Jamison Park recreation equipment of some sort. I'm just not sure on this particular company thing. I think before we do this, maybe it's the wrong season. I'd suggest everybody go over there and try it. See what you can. I mean, this would be you could buy a shed and put an awful lot of really nice Nautilus equipment in there for this kind of money. I'm just not particularly sold on this product.
So for clarity, it's not the company, it's the idea of what it is, right?
Yeah, it's more of it's a sculpture.
My first take was that you had something against the company, maybe.
Well, they're a little bit maybe deceptive in their wording too. They sound a bit like a non-government organization, and they're giving grants. No, when you give a discount on your own product, that's a coupon. It's not a grant. And I think the thing looks really impressive, and their video's really nice, but when you go and actually use it, it has no moving things, which is nice because it doesn't break. But it also doesn't really do much. It's a yoga chair, because you can go like this. We could put in more children's playground equipment, and I could get a workout on. I just don't think their product is really good.
Doesn't it have to be, it's made to be out in the weather?
It is, it's made to be out in the weather,
And
correct.
you don't want moving parts. if
No,
it's gonna
no,
be
no,
out in the
you don't,
weather.
you don't, you don't. you
So
don't.
I think that it's,
It is
it's
what it
beefy
is.
and
If you want something low maintenance,
yeah, it's yeah.
it is low
It's-
maintenance.
So it's really made to get people to, stop and look at this and.
I don't think we need two in the same township. I don't think there's a backlog for using this one, and another one on the other side of town is really necessary. Like I said, I don't begrudge the money in the unit, in the budget, but I would like to think more about alternatives to this particular, another set of expensive monkey bars.
I'm on the same line with Bob on this one. This was, I just don't see the number of people using that specific thing over in the east side. I mean, it's just, to me, it's, I don't know what it's gonna take to get more people to use, other than they got a building that people like to use, and they got this pavilion and everything else. I would try to, my thought was that before we go ahead and start putting this in a budget, is that we maybe take a look at a master plan for recreation over there, whether it be basketball courts, pickleball, whatever you want. But I think this thing by itself, I have a feeling we're gonna spend $250,000, or $150,000 or $200,000. It's gonna sit there by itself, and everybody's gonna look at, why did you build this thing over here? I know you got a ball diamond, and you got people that are living in the dugouts and stuff, and that's not being used at all. But to me, that's just that's $250,000 of our money into something very specific. I don't think they're going to use there as much as they use this, because everybody goes to the township park. They got the pavilion, you got ball diamonds.
They're already here, so
it's
they're-
all there, and they see it, and maybe it's great and it's visible.
So if it's all right if I interrupt for just a minute? So you're seeing the short version. Unfortunately, it's on tomorrow's agenda for the Board of Trustees, a resolution of intent to accept that grant award. That's really the first step in the process to work with the National Fitness Campaign. So that the board basically has to say, yes, we'll accept the award, and they make a commitment to include money in the budget for the project. And even that is simply a commitment. It's not a budget approval. So it's a resolution of intent. As part of that, there's a far more detailed request for board action that gives you more of the background on this. I don't have it with me at the moment, but the numbers are there. They see the numbers based on use of the app. So these are people that have the app on their phone, and they're on that site, and they know how long they've been there. So they know whether they're just there looking at it, or whether they actually do something with it. And their numbers, the average, if I recall, the average, there's a number of 5,000. I don't remember what that number, month, year, I can't remember what the number is, but it's a number of 5,000. Our number is 9,100 and something. So we are significantly above the average in terms of the use. And this is use. This is not simply a child walking over from the playground, or even an adult walking over from the playground. This is somebody that's using the app on the site.
I'm highly skeptical.
And staying on the site. So it is heavily used. If you go over and take a look, you can see that it's heavily used. You can see all the marks from the tennis shoes and such on the floor. You can see the marks on the equipment from heavy use. So this is equipment that is regularly used. We actually, in terms of the tribe, as part of the 2% grant program, the tribe invites local government representatives to come and meet with tribal members before the grant program is open, essentially. And as part of that, there was a discussion that was had, as this item was brought up as a potential grant. And we actually had one of the members of the tribal council that commented that she uses it all the time, and she'd be thrilled if there was one closer to her on the east side, because she's on the east side.
I was at the table for that, actually.
Yep. So now that's one person, one circumstance. But actually, the Jamison Park site is actually has more population within close proximity to it than the McDonald Park site. It actually has better access than the McDonald Park site to the density of population.
There's more people that live around
On
that.
the east side of the township.
It gets used less because there's no ball games there. So I can imagine that getting downloaded a lot because people scratch their head looking at it going like,
Well, this
how
is
does
not,
it work?
This is not downloading and scratching their head. These are people that are there and using the app.
That's the feedback I've gotten from people I've talked to who've been there, that they look at it
And
and go
this
like,
site
wow,
is-
it looks really impressive. How does
The
it work?
Jamison Park site, one of the benefits to the Jamison Park site is we do have the ability to use this larger fitness court studio, because we've also had folks that have been asking about having classes in our parks. The only place basically right now where we have these kinds of fitness classes is in the field over here, which if there's been any kind of rain, the field is kind of soft. So this studio version has the additional court area that is basically unstructured. There's no equipment in it, but it has that same flooring that is beneficial for what are classes, Zumba and other kinds of fitness classes you might want to do, whether it's individual or groups. And we have had a lot of interest in that side of things as well. As was noted in the report that went to the Board of Trustees, Jamison Park is really a historic resource. It was founded privately. Private group of residents got together, and that group was led by a woman named Gladys Jamison. It was in 1946, right after World War II, and they decided to create a recreation center for Mount Pleasant. There wasn't one here. They decided to create one. They simply raised the money. They bought the land. They built the first part of what is now Jamison Hall. They put in the ball field. They lighted it. And it was a private facility for quite a number of years. I don't know exactly when it came into the township's hands, but eventually it did. The challenge we have is that the ball field is no longer attractive to use because the leagues, when they're looking for ball field sites, are looking for multi-field sites like McDonald Park. And so as a ball field, it's no longer no longer attractive for use of the park. And this facility would create that new magnet into the park, because it's the type of facility folks are looking for. We already have strong interest in it. This site is well suited to add it in. And the benefit is it also does take down the dugouts in the infield, the ball field area. The dugouts unfortunately become an attractive nuisance. And so this would change that attractive nuisance to a positive portion of the park, and an attractive portion of the park for new activity. There is still going to be plenty of land area for additional facilities, and the Plan Commission is working on updating the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. There will be more to come on that, and more opportunities for additional facilities. This is taking only a portion of the infield, essentially, of that very large ball field. And so there'll be plenty of additional land area for other activities happening. So my recommendation would be to include this in the budget for next year.
Has Jamison Park, and I think all of us understand the real historical significance and value of Jamison Park, especially like you're talking about with the population being closer to that, even though this is really a kind of a crown jewel we sit on. But with that thought, ball fields, the park, the parking lot, all of the grounds, and the building itself has been worked on and used many different plans and had been part of a master plan, I'm sure. But at what point has it evolved to, Rick raises to me a very interesting perspective on how to look at, McDonald Park. That's one thing that's been looked at pretty intensely, I think, because you see a lot of results. And I don't think it was probably thought of that this workout facility that's here would have gone on Jamison Park first. So yeah, I totally believe all of the data that's saying great, item to have. But when you start talking about infrastructure and putting things in, and when it's cement, and when they were just talking about these big, huge cement things they're gonna have to take out and work so hard at. And I just like to see, I don't know, the planning idea is something that the master plan of how to use that facility, because we already know the dugouts are gone. The field, the fence, unless somebody else has a better idea, is gone. So, that part of it is set pretty well down the path. So there's, in my mind, part of a master plan has been evolving, but maybe not explicitly stated. And that's what I'm thinking. I hear Rick and I hear Bob, maybe in a different way, saying master plan, and so this park, this feature, this workout area may be a valuable, integral part of it, but I'm sure if we went around the room, everybody could see something else that might be used there too. I mean, I see this, I see this, I see this. How does that fit? How does it go together? And that's where I think the master plan is really, is this approval or this acceptance of this idea with the 2%, is that part of it? Does it hinge on that? I mean, a master plan makes conflict of sense to not work together with the two concepts of a master plan and this project?
Yeah, the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, generally it's a 5-year plan. It largely is designed to provide eligibility for the township to apply for grants through the Michigan Recreation Fund, through the DNR, their recreation fund. But it essentially looks at what do we need in this facility over the next 5 years. So it's a broader plan. You might think of it as capital improvements program for parks. There's absolute value in it, and our plan is not current. And as I said, the Plan Commission has started work on that, and that work is proceeding and will likely be accelerating. But it is something where that is still months before it would be ready to or able to be adopted. That's a longer term process to create that plan. In terms of planning, we certainly have looked at this, and we did look at Jameson Park as a site for this the fitness court that was ultimately installed here at McDonald Park. This is 2022 was when we
So
first started
why did
looking
they
at
choose
fitness court.
McDonald versus Jameson?
In 2022, the ball field was still being used, not often, but it was still being used enough. Let's call it occasionally, but at a regular enough rate that we did not want to disturb the ball field. And so then it came down to where else could we put it, and there was not another suitable location in the front part of that park, simply because of the size of the fitness court. Even this court would have needed more room than we had to work with in the front part of the park, basically in front of the building or to the side of the building. But that was, as I said, that was 2022 when the ball fields were still occasionally being used by leagues. The ball field has not been used in an extended period of time since then, and the leagues have made clear that they're not interested. We've actually offered it. We've had folks call and say we'd like to use the McDonald Park field for practices. We had to tell them, unfortunately, this park is closed, we're doing the work on it, but we have the ball field over here. And the answer was, no, we'll go someplace else. So it is a circumstance where that ball
Part
field
of
is
it
no
might
longer.
be the condition that the field is kept in.
The ball field is kept in excellent condition.
The
The
dugouts
dugouts
are-
actually are still very solid. The fencing is still very solid. But the field is maintained every year. It's put together just as
They
ready
mow
to
it
go.
and they groom the infield and all that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
but as I said, unfortunately, because it's a single field, and because it's an older field, it is no longer an attractor for these
Right.
types of facilities.
That's understandable.
But it is a perfect location for this particular kind of installation. And as I said, this installation, frankly, I think it would actually accelerate the opportunities for other things to happen there. Because this is what will bring people into that space that haven't been in that space for some time, and will reactivate that park in a very positive way, and I think, quite frankly, lead to other opportunities.
I think I have three questions related to following up on the discussion that's been happening. So, the park master plan, planning commission has begun work on that. Do you have an anticipated delivery of that master plan?
Actually, a fair amount of it is on me at the moment, because I need to do my piece. The Plan Commission, we talked through a lot of the details. We have the survey that was done in 2023 of township residents and some of their interests and priorities for recreation. So there's an element of putting the draft together that needs to be done. And that is in process. Plan Commission is also working on their future land use plan at the same time. So we sort of have two projects going forward. They're related, but they do serve different functions.
Are you thinking maybe like Q1 or Q2?
That would be my thought, is Q1 next year.
Q1?
Yeah,
All right, so Q1, if let's assume the township decides to do the National Fitness Campaign court, what's the timeline on that? I'm assuming that's not till spring
So
or summer?
Yes, if the township moves forward with this project, the equipment would be shipped in March of 2026. It would be stored for a period of time, just as we stored the equipment for this one. And basically, construction would take place as soon as weather permitting in the spring, so probably late April or early May. Just depending on the ability to lay concrete, because that's really site prep and concrete is the first step. So we would be working with putting together requests for bids, basically starting in January, and getting the contractor aligned. But the construction would likely take place in May, completed in June, at the latest.
Why can't we hold this off until something's done? I mean, I can, once you approve this, it's like it's in stone. It's gonna be, it's a sure thing.
But this is where I was kind of going with this, was
I'm not ready for that.
timing of some of these things. Sounds like January is, the Board of Trustees may support this independently of the EDA, regardless of what happens here with this today, may or may not, right? If it moves forward, but this board decides, we're gonna earmark some money but not name it.
That's what I like.
Master plan comes to fruition if we're able to get that done. I don't know, sounds like the timing's a little tight to me, but what I'm hearing from some of you is it'd be nice to see some of that planning so that you go, yeah, this is what we want to go first, and then we may follow up with tennis courts or basketball courts or whatever it is, motocross track for bikes, right?
Even something as
yeah.
conceptual as you're talking about would be a little more in the path of master planning. I think a conceptual potential of, it's already been, sounds like, figured out where this would go, where this facility would go. But that if that fits into the perfect idea, yeah, great. If it doesn't, well then let's adjust. But
So my
I
big
would hate to
question
hold-
is the timing of all this such that the EDA could earmark funds, but not named, but named for Jameson Park
Yeah.
Compromise.
improvements, right? And then that allows this board to have more time to look at those additional things and see how the timing works out. It sounds kind of tight to me as far as timing, but
Yeah.
just a suggestion.
So we do have there has been planning done. It's not a recreation master plan, not a 5-year plan. But as I said, there's been a lot of evaluation of this. There was also a lot of evaluation on the part of the National Fitness Campaign. And I do have that background information. I'm happy to share it, where they did the analysis and showed that that this is a valid and very appropriate site for this facility.
But the
That's
configuration,
what
I
they're gonna
think,
find. It's their product.
This was not about that, actually. This was at a time when there was no decision being made to do anything with this. We simply were talking about actually several different sites as possibilities in the township for a second fitness court. But what they were looking at are the numbers. Where's the population? Where's the connectivity? That's what they're looking at. That's the analysis.
They are looking to sell a product.
They actually
That's
are
what they
not-
are. They're a business that's looking to sell a product.
Okay, I disagree with you on that, but that's,
What do you think they are?
they have a product, but this is, as.
They have a
as
nice
they-
name that makes you think that they're like some government
As
organization.
they
And
call
they have a very
themselves,
nice
they are a campaign.
website,
They are a campaign, absolutely, they are.
and they have shareholders and profits.
Okay. I will disagree with you that they're a corporation, profit, or incentive corporation. This is a different creature.
And on top of that, you need someone to take care of those things, day-to-day operation too, during,
You mean the maintenance?
maintenance
Yeah.
and all that equipments which, when they are there. Somebody you may have to hire some supervisor or somebody to maintain or look into that day-to-day operation.
So the maintenance of the facility is handled in-house. So far, it's been very minimal.
They're maintenance free. They are maintenance free.
Right, and so.
They are low
but-
maintenance.
But, I mean, we have
'Cause nothing
replacement
moves.
parts already in hand that were provided for flooring sections and other elements. And they're all standardized parts, so if we need other parts, we can simply order them.
That's true.
And as I said, unfortunately, because this was a budget item, you're not seeing all the details behind it. The report for the board tomorrow provides a lot more of that background information, including talking about maintenance needs and when and timing and all those elements are all very upfront about what those details are. But because we're looking here simply at a budget line item, you're not seeing all that information. And so I apologize for that. If I was aware of the questions, I would have shared that additional information with you.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was gonna comment on. I mean, the last two meetings were the time to have this discussion. You know?
I
Not this one.
brought up a little bit last month, and I went home and got online, and I looked up their website, and I watched their videos, and did a little research, and
But I appreciate.
went back and
you
tried the
guys'
equipment again.
opinions, But, I mean, we've been kicking this park around for so long, and we've tried to master plan it, and we paved it, and we've done all these improvements to the building and the
We
grounds,
put-
and we cleared brush, and we've
We
done.
have put a lot of dollars into Jamison Park in the last
Playground set.
5 or 6 years. A lot.
Yeah.
I think
Stellar.
500 to 600,000.
Few years
Oh,
back.
at
that,
least, because we've upgraded the building, which desperately needed it.
Yeah.
And so.
Fencing.
Facility.
Fencing, yes. So it's-
Signage, a
So,
lot of stuff.
10 years ago, they have developed that kitchen and all that there too. That was
A lot of nice
uh,
kitchen
yeah, that
upgrades.
died,
See, I-
fortunately.
I don't see a problem with allocating money to Jameson Park for additional, whatever it would be. I'd like to see a plan, like whether 2 or 3, 4 different things, whatever it is. But
Just not
it's
so-
almost like getting a cart ahead of the horse. We got this little thing, we're gonna stick that in there because of one reason or another. But what about the rest of it? And I'm not sold on that, okay? And it's not like it's $50,000 or $60,000 where, it's like $250,000. Yeah, we're gonna get a grant or whatever, but I mean, different, that's a lot of money. It's like
I tell you what, you buy a little playground, it's $200,000.
Yeah, no, that is true.
These
That
little
is
bigger,
absolutely-
less,
There's about
smaller
the
than
same-
this table.
There's about the same amount of steel and
Yeah,
cement in a playground.
So I don't care.
And I can get about
whether
the same
we- I
workout
don't
on the
mind
playground.
if we give $500,000 to the plant. We already gave 5 or 6 or 700,000, and
Yeah.
I don't mind building that whole thing up. I just don't see that this sticking that thing there because they're going to give us a grant or something else.
A coupon.
But this is not the reason why we're doing it. The grant actually was something, it's a bonus. It has nothing to do with whether we put this facility there. We put the facility there because there is a need, there is a demand, there is interest, and this is the right facility for the right time. It may not be the right facility for you. It may not even be the right facility for me. I certainly don't look like I'm using it every day. But it is the right facility for a significant number of people because we're seeing the use, and we're seeing the use on their app as well. And there is interest in this. This is, especially there's an interest in the studio component, the extra space. Because that free-form space to be able to do things outside, whether individually or in a class, is a space we do not have. And providing it there matches very well with having.
It's not gonna have roofs or walls, though.
What's that?
It doesn't have a roof or walls.
It does not.
No.
No, this is an outdoor
It's
space.
an outdoor thing, okay, so
Yep.
let's look at that, yeah.
Designed
So-
to be.
I was saying, we don't have more of a homeless
Yeah.
shelter,
If you
Right,
if you
okay,
come
so-
out and take a look at this one out here.
so
after
it's gonna have the
rain-
same seasonal usage, because it has no roof or walls.
Yeah. They actually do have a version of this, by the way, that has a roof on it, but it's more of a sunshade than a real roof. So we didn't have that maintenance issue. But what we're finding is it's used, and it's used even in the colder and less more inclement parts of the season.
Is it bigger than the one we have here?
The fitness court would be the same size, but basically there'd be that additional free space would basically the same size. So it's essentially twice the footprint.
So, because you've had some people that we don't want to go out in the grass and do it, but this will give it an opportunity to go over here where it gets wet out here,
right,
and it's grass.
Right.
So it's like an alternative for this. So I kind of think that it would, maybe I'm going against the thoughts, but I think it would be an asset that we can build around out there, more, add to what we already have that's nice, and then you can put more things out there down the road too.
And
With
I
more
agree-
money that
I
comes.
agree with where Dave's going on this. And I also think that that's a good backdrop reason for having what Dave's talking about, to build around it, because where is it gonna go? And we've done a lot of projects where we've taken an engineer, land planner, whatever it may be, that had already had plenty of land planning or master planning, whatever done to it, but then specifically zoned in on a smaller parcel within that master plan and see how to handle that, engineering-wise, planning-wise. And I think cart in front of the horse is a lot to what I'm trying to get at, as far as where does that special spot go, so then it makes so much sense to the rest of what is going to be a pretty good sized parcel when you talk about the entire four corners of that park. And so I'm thinking,
Go
long
wherever,
term.
wherever it goes out there, it's gonna be a asset to it and make.
Correct.
And then,
correct.
I don't think they're gonna go
But
put
am
it out in the
I-
middle of the field. They're gonna keep it in a,
But am I the person to decide it? The people that build it decide it? Does Rodney decide it? Do we vote here to decide it? Does the board decide it? Who decides it? I think when you talk about a master plan, you're getting a better picture of what may be the better spot for it to be. Maybe Rodney picks the perfect spot, it's just happens to be, I don't know, maybe whatever works is just gonna be right. But I'm seeing the planning part of it kind of skipped over as cart in front of the horse just says so much to me in that thing. And master planning is maybe focused broadly on all the parks and won't be done more broadly for a while, but we're looking at this more immediately. And I'm thinking, why can't we get somebody to look at it more immediately?
So you're not seeing the planning simply because you've seen this as a budget line item as part of a larger budget for the East EDA district. As I said, there's been a lot of planning, a lot of analysis, a lot of looking at this. It's simply been it's not been in this room, because all we've been doing is saying, do we want to put money into this park for this project? The site, as I said, essentially is proposed to go basically where the infield is now. It would take out the two dugouts, it would take out the backstop. It would go adjacent to the bathrooms that are there, so it's close to the bathrooms, but set back basically where the infield is. That fence along the sideline would be removed. There would be the sidewalk that runs along the south side of the building would be extended out to it a short distance. And the location is designed so that sidewalk, again, providing barrier-free access into the park, that sidewalk can continue and serve other things. It's not blocking access to anything. It's actually lined up designed in a way to be an asset to the park, to be very visible from the parking lot, the south parking lot. But to not create any thing that would inhibit the future use of the remaining land in the park. So it is really a first step to future. It is something to reactivate the park, and it is a project to grow from for other things that we can then look at from a planning perspective. Yeah, you mentioned pickleball. Pickleball's the hot thing. There's another, I can't remember what it's called, but there's another hot thing out there now.
Smash ball.
Thank you.
I think
I
horseshoe pits will
propose
draw
it-
more people.
And there is always going
I
to be
think
a
we
hot
get more
day.
people with horseshoe pits.
And
It wouldn't
which-
cost anything.
Well, there are horseshoe pits out there, actually. There have been for a long time. And nobody, they're still out there. They're not proposed to be disturbed.
No,
But
Get the-
there are
get the-
always going to be hot things, and part of looking at it from the perspective of the township is, where do we want to put our investment? This is one that is a solid choice. We have the data. As I said, I'm happy to share with you the analysis that was done, the numbers that the National Fitness Campaign provided. But this is a solid project for this site, and already has a strong interest in it.
What if there was information out there that said this facility right behind us was duplicated in Jameson Park? People will go from the parking lot here to there, or they go over there. They would go anywhere that was within a reasonable distance, but they will walk there to get there. They'll go past a lot of stuff.
Right.
And it says, right in front of us, right near where you're talking about, just coming out of the building, hello, I just know that when I go down to Island Park and I see the kids in the splash pool, they're just overjoyed with that
I get used to it a
event.
lot.
And I see, like splashing, and it's entertaining in some ways too, but you got a lot of happy kids, very close, very easy to see what's going on, very safe for a lot of kids, right? Maybe, what if that was proven to be a better location, if we ever did put a splash park out there, than this facility right where it's at? If that was proven and shown and said, yeah, that would be better, even by the people who are building it. I'm saying, what if that was a possibility and we didn't take advantage of it?
I appreciate the hypotheticals, and as you all know, we've all been around through this life a little bit. We all make choices, and as we look back, there might even be choices we regret. There are always hypotheticals. There is always another option, and if we focus on the hypotheticals of what if, what about that other hot thing, we will never do anything at all.
Okay,
That's
then
that's
my
the
question
challenge.
is, why is it we can't do a master plan for that concept? Why can't we do that?
Well, we certainly, as I said, are working on a Parks and Rec plan for the township, for the whole township.
But I already said,
Uh,
what if we don't do that, and then we specifically look at this and hire a company that says, yeah, we do that stuff, just like the company we hired for the irrigation, that says, yeah, we do that stuff. We want to do that for you. We can lay out a park here for kids and all the stuff that they want to do, for the adults that want to work out. Why can't we do that? I'm just wondering, what is inhibiting us from doing that before we say, yes, we're doing this here at this location, it's gonna start built on this time and all that?
Well, I don't think there's
That's-
that much property out there. You can't, the place where we wanna put it, where it's proposed at the Diamond, that's the only place to put it. You can't put it in the front yard, and you gotta have an access to the bathrooms, so it's like, there's a sidewalk going to it. So,
I mean,
it's
if
not
we're the
like
ones
it's as
that
big
do
as McDonald Park, it's,
If we're the ones that are
It's
gonna say,
smaller
we'll
than-
take that responsibility, that's a different thing, but if we're saying, what is the long-term idea for the park, what would be logical for it to do now versus later, and how do we move forward? And that can be adjusted too, but I think specific master plan doesn't really exist, and I just think that it makes sense to have something, and then
Well,
that's all I have to say about it.
Okay, a specific master plan does exist, but it envisioned the ball field continuing. Even when all the work was done on the building and the playground equipment that was added around, that was all with the idea that the ball field was going to be a continuing viable facility.
Which would indicate to me there's a need for an adjustment in the master plan.
Right, and that's true. But that is also something, as I said, we've done the planning, we've done the analysis, and we wouldn't bring this to you if we hadn't already done that analysis. Unfortunately, we've been simply talking about it as a budget line item, so you have not seen all that background information. And there were no questions about this last time. So if there had been questions about it, I would have provided you with all that analysis, so you had.
I think I asked the question.
I think we kinda had some questions
a
last
discussion,
month.
and I
You suggested
was kinda
pickleball
hoping-
courts. I think
Yeah.
I brought up, I didn't think it was a great we did last month, we had a little bit of discussion.
But,
Now
you know,
today,
I
I hate to hold up the whole budget over this item, but I'm willing to.
So the
I'm willing to
question
vote
here
no
is-
on, I mean, I,
This is my question for you, because this is a budget line item. The next step would be ultimately for some kind of a bill to come to you for the cost of whatever it is that we do. So let's say, let's say you change this and say, we just want to put $240,000 towards Jameson Park improvements, whatever that might be. And then it comes back to you that this project is moving forward. The board has adopted the budget. The board has let's assume for the moment that they have accepted the grant and they're committed to pursuing the project. When that project comes back to you for payment, that this is the project we're pursuing using these funds or a portion of them, what's going to happen? If you don't want this project, which is, as I said, analysis has been done, the planning has been done, we've identified an appropriate site that works well with the park, to reactivate the park, to resolve the problems that we have right there with the existing ball field, and to create the opportunity for new things to happen beyond that. It doesn't block or inhibit anything. It's designed, the location is designed to allow, to expand beyond that for other things. If you're not on board with moving ahead with the project, then my suggestion is take the money out. But by taking the money out, it means nothing happens to the park. It means that the ball field stays an attractive nuisance.
We can always add it on later in the budget, so.
See, I disagree,
That's what we-
because if the plan people come back with a plan that says, we want to do this, and this, and what stages, and then they need money allocated, I don't have a problem with that. You know, right now, I think you're just jamming one thing into a place just because it's there, because somebody's offering
That's
you.
not the case. I disagree.
This is my opinion.
This is great.
This is my opinion.
Yeah, I understand.
They're offering you a deal you can't refuse, they're gonna give you a grant, and you're gonna stick that out there, and if that isn't being used, we're gonna have egg all over our face. I think you say,
only
think
township
it
to
is,
buy
I
two
don't
of
think
them.
it is. But so, and for me, it's $250,000, that's a gamble I don't wanna take. As far as I'm concerned, I like the rest of the budget, but if E9 isn't, withdrawn, I'm gonna vote against it.
Me too.
Well, we've got two ways we can do this, gentlemen. I think we've had a robust discussion. Everyone's had their opportunity to weigh in, many times in some cases. I'd like to make a motion. And before I do this, I'll just summarize that. As the motion reads, our role is to recommend to the board. This is not something that's just within our little group deciding. This is something that the board has asked us to participate in. They have taken the lead on deciding this. And so the bottom line is, as I've learned in the past, the board is our boss. The board wants to take money out of our line item, our budget, for anything. They have the legal power to do so. So the best we can do is, and I hear a lot of disagreement with this particular item, so whether I'm gonna make a motion to approve the budget as presented, excluding item E9. Everybody will have a vote, there'll be some yeas, there'll be some nays, and then it'll go to the board tomorrow, and it'll be put in their laps. They know that we have some issues with it. And unfortunately, I think that's realistically all we can do at this point, because the board is gonna take the lead on it. And we answer to the Board of Trustees, whether we like it or not. So, having said that, I make a motion to adopt the fiscal year 2026 East DDA District Fund and West DDA District Fund budgets as presented, and with the exception of eliminating item E9 in the East DDA budget, and to recommend these budgets to the Board of Trustees for final approval.
Support.
Got a motion by Zalad, support by Bars. Any more discussion on the motion?
I don't think the board would come and just take money from the EDA.
Oh, I'm not, I'm just saying that is, and I appreciate your leadership and that would not happen under a Milky-led board. I'm sorry if I insinuated that. There have been examples that I have personally been part of where the board has done that. And we'll talk about it later.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, and it was, and I'll just say for the record, when administration was in, the county thought our DDA funds, restricted funds, were too much. They needed money, and they convinced the board of trustees to appropriate that money. We sent the county that money, and the money, in my mind, I don't know if it was everything, but it was $500,000 if either for both the DDAs or just the West DDA. It was a significant amount of money, and I don't think there was a whole lot of even discussion on the DDA boards about it.
I do remember that.
Tom, does that ring a bell?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, and again, that's ancient history. I just say that the board we work at the wishes of the board, and if they love this project, guess what? We're gonna do it.
And you're right in that Board of Trustees can approve or deny or modify the budget that this recommendation from this board
Yes.
makes.
And all I'm trying to do is we've spent, I think, ample amount of time on it. Again, it'd be one thing if we were writing a check today, but I think the board's gonna this will add to their discussion tomorrow. So, and we got other things on the list today.
Yeah.
If I could offer one amendment to the motion, because E9 is actually just the number that's in the memo. If it could be just added to say that it refers to the parks, where am I here? I had it right in front of me. Parks projects, outdoor fitness court, and $240,000 allocation. You just had that added to the motion, so it
All right.
specifies which item it is.
I'm not
So-
following you on that.
I didn't either.
E9 is only part of the memo, so
Yes,
making that,
yes.
Right,
So
got
by
yes, I
describing
agree.
E9 in the motion, doesn't really make the motion
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
So to make it clear, we just referring to that you are excluding under parks projects for the East DDA. It is the outdoor fitness court item for $240,000.
Okay,
No,
omitting that.
we're just-
Under parks, budget,
Projects.
projects.
Just adding the wording.
Yep, no,
Doing the word.
eliminating,
You're okay, okay.
no, I'm gonna make you do something. Eliminating, funding of $240,000 for outdoor fitness court. Is that?
At Jameson.
Okay, yep. At Jameson Park, okay. Robert, rules of order, we have a motion on the floor. I'm sorry, Chair.
Do you want to read that?
I will read it once we rescind both the other one down.
Or you can amend it.
We're just
and
amending it.
support.
Okay,
Because he's okay with it.
okay,
No, go
no,
ahead.
that's fine. That works, okay. I move to amend the motion on the floor to read, to adopt the fiscal year 2026 East DDA District Fund and West DDA District Fund budgets as presented, with the exception of removing under parks projects, with the exception of under parks projects, eliminating funding of $240,000 for the outdoor fitness center at Jameson Park, and to recommend these budgets to the Board of Trustees for final approval.
I'll support that.
I'll get it. I'll have to retype it up and
That-
have Tom come
that's
back and
fine.
sign it, but I've got it.
And we'll all look at it next month.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion by Zalid, support by Bars. I think we got all the comments and questions done. All in favor, say aye.
May I?
Are we
Okay.
voting on the amendment first and then motion, or is it all in one?
It's all in one.
Yeah, I think Robert Rules of Order say you treat them separately.
Well,
That's what I thought.
actually, if person that made it, the person that supported it agree to the amendment,
Yeah.
then you can just proceed. You don't need to.
Then we agree.
Then we
Because
agree.
we did both.
So that's where Tom was going, so.
So I'm going to support the motion, but I want to qualify it, because I'm supportive of the concept of that E9 item.
Yep.
I absolutely agree with a lot of the comments about seeing the planning, the water park example, spray park is a great example of maybe we needed something else there because it's close to the building, you need cheaper plumbing and electricity.
Yep.
I get that. And I don't, in fact, I support that concern. But in general, I've seen this used, I'm supportive of it, but I'm going to support the DA motion because I think it'll come down to what does the Board of Trustees find valuable or not.
Yes.
And I will certainly share your comments with the Board of Trustees. But I wanted to qualify why I'm supporting that today.
And I would just,
Thanks, Brian.
I would simply add, and it would be nice if Madam Secretary could put it in the meeting minutes. I think the consensus of the board is to support additional investment into Jamison Park. But because this is a significant amount of money, is there a better place we should be spending it?
So I called the vote.
Yes.
Everybody's aye, then all opposed.
Oh, I was aye.
You, oh, you,
Yep.
you should have said. All right.
No, I want to support it, and I was trying to explain why I
No,
support
that's-
it.
no, I gotcha.
And because there's more ways to skin a cat.
Yep.
And if the Board of Trustees really wants this, they'll find a way to make it happen.
Yes.
Yep. And motion is approved.
It was 8-0.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought he was gonna oppose to make
But
his
I did
point,
too.
but then he
I'm
didn't
making sure.
after his
No.
speech.
That's all right. He made a speech, that's what he really wanted to do. All right.
I can agree that it's not an EDA thing maybe that we want to take on as an EDA. But the township may still want to do that.
Yes, and that's well within their, we're advising.
For what it's worth, I like it. I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
All right.
We got item C, we got the adoption of the 2026 schedule. Another request for board action. Is there any backup?
You see that on your table, I had a new version of that memo, and it's only because unfortunately there were a couple of dates that were incorrectly left in the memo. We had multiple eyes on it and still missed them. So the version on the table has those dates corrected. The dates are always the third Tuesday, 4:30 at this point, unless you'd like to make changes to it. With the exception of the informational meeting, that's separate, and then our joint meeting that we have with all boards and commissions in April.
Make a motion to approve the schedule of regular and informational meetings of the Economic Development Authority Board for the 2026 calendar year to take place at 4:30 PM on the third Tuesday of each month, except as otherwise noted in the schedule, in accordance with the requirements of the Open Meetings Act.
Support. Got a motion by Zaled. What was that? Coin?
Support.
Support by Coin. To approve this request for EDA board action. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. And the motion is approved. And moving on to item D. Looks like we got a
Closed session.
closed session, section 8-1.
Do we need a motion then?
Yeah, it's,
I will make a motion to move into closed session under section 8(1)D of the Open Meetings Act to consider the purchase of real property, and also under section 8(1)H of the Open Meeting Act to consider an appraisal of real property that is exempt from disclosure by section 13(1)J of the Freedom of Information Act.
Support.
Got a motion by Bacon, support by Big. Comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. And we are now in closed session. 10, director comments.
Thank you. I don't have a whole lot. We've had a lot of discussion tonight. The only thing I would note is that the first of the park benches has been removed from the Pickard Road corridor over there by the Saginaw Chippewa Tribal College. And they're working on it. This is kind of their test unit that they're making sure that how they want to handle all the details of refurbishment. And so anyway, that's going on right now. And we expect more of them to disappear soon. The other item you'll see over in that same space is that our water line project, the looping of the water main around Somerton Road, is also going on. They have wiped out some streetlight wiring that they're going to replace, and they've wiped out a little bit of our irrigation system, which you're also going to replace. And they also, as part of uncovering things, they uncovered some significant damage done by somebody else to the Consumers Energy natural gas transmission lines, big transmission lines. One of them had 2 drill marks right in the top, both about a 1/4 inch into the pipe, where somebody, for some reason, was drilling there. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't get all the way through because they would have been very surprised if they had.
Where was that at?
Right at the corner of Somerton Road and Pickard Road. And so that has slowed down our water project a little bit because they had to back off, and Consumers Energy is in there now doing their work to repair that. And, but the water line is continuing, they're continuing to work on the Somerton section of it.
I'm really glad we,
answer questions.
I'm really glad we didn't have an explosion there because it's really close to,
Absolutely.
and if they hadn't caught it, we would have at some point.
Right.
Yeah. For all you don't know, there's 2 24-inch natural gas lines, and I think there's a 30-inch in there somewhere too.
Jeez,
Yep.
coming from the airport.
Yeah, what was exposed were the 2 24
Yeah,
inches,
the
and one of them, 2 drill marks right in the top.
Wow.
And actually, there was a third mark. What happened was they drilled twice, and
Could've
apparently
made the
decided to
national-
stop. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
drilled a third time, and that third one went down the
was
side of
very
the pipe.
close.
So you can see the swirl as it
The double
goes.
swirl.
When you break the coating like that too, when you're drilling, you have accelerated corrosion in those spots.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice. I like it.
I work in the
This-
pipeline industry.
I know you did.
Well, that's all I have for today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let go.
6:12, anything else for the good of the order?
I will try to relay sentiments to the Board of Trustees from the discussions I heard. I heard some general support for the fitness campaign.
Yep.
I'm saying this so that you can disagree with me if you need to or add to it. I will also express the thoughts that I heard and don't necessarily disagree with, so I'll definitely get and bring those as far as planning, other options. I think the Parks Master Plan is important to this group, is what I heard, before pulling the trigger on something like
Yeah,
that.
and
Agreed.
it's a significant amount of dollars, so.
And, yeah.
And
Thank you.
because the other thing is, it's already on a pretty tight time frame. So even if we had amended the motion to say, well, we're not gonna call it outdoor fitness, but we're gonna put the money in the budget, well, the money's in the budget.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
it-
so, again, if they were gonna do it at the end of the year, where we had some time to get some input. But anyway, I appreciate the board's support. Thank you again for your
try to wait.
leadership.
I'll tell the trustees I like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
Well, no, I will express that too.
I just priced
That there
out
was some support.
multiple playgrounds, a pickleboard, for
Like I said-
$5 million.
And like I said, I supported it, but I understand the EDA maybe not
Yeah.
wanting to be part of it.
No. And-
It's possible the Board of Trustees, if they move forward, at some point might come back and go, hey, we could use $40,000 or $50,000, could you? And at that time, you could decide.
Yep,
Me.
absolutely. So,
Okay, we'll call meeting adjourned, 6:14. Next meeting, November 18th. 3 days after deer season, so
Yeah.
get your deer.